Surgeon reveals the only 5 exercises you need to relieve neuropathy in feet and legs. Senior health. What if I told you the numbness, tingling, and weakness in your feet may not be the most dangerous part of neuropathy at all, but rather the silent loss of balance, confidence, and control that follows right behind it? That is the part many older adults never see coming. As a surgeon, I've met countless seniors across America who thought they were simply slowing down. They told themselves the burning in their feet was manageable, the unsteady steps were nothing serious, and the need to hold on to furniture was just part of getting older. But neuropathy does not only affect sensation. It changes how your brain communicates with your legs, how safely you walk across your home, and how quickly one small misstep can turn into a life-altering fall. And that is exactly why this matters. In today's video, I'm going to show you the only 5 exercises you truly need to help relieve neuropathy in your feet and legs. Simple, practical movements designed to improve circulation, rebuild stability, and help you feel connected to the ground again before that quiet loss of control becomes something much harder to reverse. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Exercise 1, seated beseech, reawakening blood flow, and brain-to-leg connection. Before you even think about strength or balance, let me ask you something simple. When was the last time your legs truly felt awake? Not just moving, but responsive, steady, and connected. Because for many adults over 60, what fades first isn't strength, it's communication. The brain sends the signal, but the legs respond a second too late. That delay is where instability begins. This is why we always start here. The seated march may look basic, but physiologically it's one of the most important resets for your nervous system. Sit in a firm, stable chair, not a soft couch. Your feet should be flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Now sit tall, not stiff, but lifted through your chest like a string is gently pulling the top of your head upward. This posture matters more than most people realize because slouching compresses circulation and reduces the signal flow between your brain and lower body. Now slowly lift your right knee only as high as feels comfortable. Then lower it back down with control. Switch to your left knee. As you begin alternating, add your arms naturally. Right knee up, left arm forward. Left knee up, right arm forward, just like walking. But here's the key most people miss. Don't rush it. This is not about speed. This is about clarity of movement. Each lift is a message. Each step is a signal being sent and received. If your feet feel numb, you may not feel much at first. That's okay. Keep going. What you are doing is reintroducing rhythm and coordination back into a system that has gone quiet. Start with 30 seconds. That may be enough for your first day. Gradually work toward 1 to 2 minutes. You should feel your breathing increase slightly, but still be able to talk comfortably. Now, let's talk about when to use this. This exercise is especially powerful in the morning when stiffness is highest and circulation is lowest. It's also perfect during everyday moments while watching television, waiting for your coffee to brew, or even during a commercial break. If you have severe neuropathy or balance concerns, this seated position keeps your fall risk essentially 0 while still activating your cardiovascular system and neural pathways. And here's what happens if you skip this step. You go straight into standing or walking with a body that hasn't been turned on. Blood flow is sluggish, nerve signals are delayed. That's when missteps happen. But when you take just 1 minute to wake the system up, your body responds differently. Patients often tell me, my legs feel lighter, more responsive, like they're listening again. That's not coincidence. That's physiology. So before you take your first real steps today, sit down and march, because what you're doing isn't just movement. You're rebuilding communication. And once that connection starts to return, the next exercise will challenge something even more important: your ability to feel the ground beneath your feet. Again, if you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. Exercise 2, heel-toe rock. Restoring control where most falls begin. Let me paint a picture you might recognize. You're walking across your living room, and without realizing it, your steps have become shorter, quieter, almost like you're gliding instead of stepping. That's not just aging. That's your body adapting to a loss of control in your feet. When the toes stop lifting properly, even by a fraction, the risk of tripping increases dramatically. And most people don't notice it until after a near fall or worse. This is where the heel-toe rock becomes essential. You can do this seated or standing depending on how steady you feel today. If you're unsure, start seated in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Sit tall. Again, posture still matters here because it affects how your weight shifts. Now slowly lift your heels off the ground while keeping your toes and the balls of your feet pressed firmly down. You should feel your calf muscles tighten. Hold that position for just a second. Then gently lower your heels back down. From there, shift your weight backward and lift your toes up. Keeping your heels planted, you'll feel the muscles along the front of your lower legs, the shins activate. Now alternate between the two. Heels up, then toes up. But here's the difference between doing it and doing it effectively. Most people rush through this, they bounce, they lose control. I don't want that for you. Move slowly enough that you can feel every phase of the motion. When your heels lift, notice the pressure in your toes. When your toes lift, notice how your weight settles into your heels. This is not just muscle work. It's sensory retraining. You are teaching your brain to recognize pressure again, to understand where your weight is and how to adjust it. Start with 10 repetitions. If that feels manageable, build up to 15 or 20. Take your time between each one. If you feel confident, you can progress to doing this while standing with your hands lightly resting on a countertop or chair for support. Standing adds another layer. It forces your body to stabilize while shifting weight, which is exactly what happens during walking. Now let's talk about when to use this. This exercise is especially important if you've noticed. You shuffle your feet. You catch your toes on rugs or steps. You feel unsure stepping off a curb because those are early warning signs your body is losing that toe lift pattern. And if ignored, this is often where falls begin. But when you practice this regularly, something changes. You start to feel your feet again. Your steps become more deliberate. You lift your toes without thinking. Patients often tell me, I didn't realize how much I had lost until I felt it coming back. That awareness is powerful. So don't just go through the motion. Pay attention to it because in the next exercise, we're going to take that awareness and connect it to something even deeper. Your core and your brain working together to keep you upright. Exercise 3, seated diagonal reach, rebuilding coordination between your brain, core, and feet. Here's something that may surprise you. Most falls don't start in the feet. They start in the brain's inability to coordinate the body fast enough. You can have strong legs and still feel unstable. You can walk every day and still lose your balance because balance is not just strength. It's timing, coordination, and communication across your entire body. And this is exactly what this movement is designed to restore. Sit toward the front edge of a sturdy chair, not leaning back. Both feet should be flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Before you even move your arms, pause for a moment and gently press your feet into the ground. That pressure matters. It sends a signal upward from your feet through your legs into your brain, telling your body where you are in space. Many older adults with neuropathy lose this connection, and without it, every movement becomes less reliable. Now bring your hands together in front of your body. You can clasp them if your shoulders allow, or simply keep them parallel. Start by lowering your hands toward your left hip. From there, slowly reach diagonally across your body, lifting your arms upward toward the right side as if you're drawing a long line from your hip to above your shoulder. Then return to the starting position. This is not a fast movement. In fact, the slower you go, the more effective it becomes. As your arms move, your core must stabilize your body to keep you from tipping. At the same time, your feet remain grounded, constantly feeding information back to your brain. That's the magic of this exercise. It forces multiple systems to work together at once. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions on one side, then switch directions, right hip to upper left. Now let's talk about what you should feel. You may notice your torso engaging, your balance subtly shifting even while seated. That's a good sign. It means your body is waking up those deeper stabilizing muscles that are often underused. If you feel unsteady, slow it down even more. There's no benefit in rushing through this. And if you have shoulder limitations, reduce the height of your reach. The diagonal pattern is more important than how high you go. This exercise is especially important if you've experienced difficulty turning while walking, feeling off balance when reaching for something, hesitation when changing direction, because those are moments when your brain and body must coordinate quickly. And if that connection is weak, that's when instability shows up. Now here's the part many people overlook. If you avoid movements that challenge coordination, your brain gradually loses the ability to respond efficiently. It's not just physical decline, it's neurological disengagement. But when you practice this regularly, you begin to retrain that connection. Patients often tell me, I feel more in control, like my body is working together again. That's exactly what we want. So take your time with this. Stay present with each movement. Feel your feet pressing into the floor, your core stabilizing, your arms guiding the motion. Because in the next exercise, we're going to take everything you've rebuilt here and challenge it in the one position most people fear the most, standing on one leg. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. Exercise 4, supported single leg stand, rebuilding balance where it matters most. There's a moment many people don't talk about when friends are that split second when you shift your weight onto one leg and feel a quiet wave of uncertainty. It might happen stepping out of the shower, climbing stairs, or simply turning around in your kitchen. That hesitation is not random. It's your body telling you that your balance system is no longer automatic. And this is exactly where we begin to rebuild it. Stand near something stable, a kitchen counter, a heavy chair, or even the corner of a room. In many American homes, the kitchen is actually the safest place to practice this because you have multiple surfaces within reach. Place one or both hands lightly on your support, not gripping tightly, just enough to feel secure. Now, shift your weight onto your right leg, but here's the key. Don't rush to lift the other foot completely off the ground. Instead, step your left foot slightly behind you and let your toes rest lightly on the floor like a kickstand. This small detail changes everything. It gives you stability while still forcing your standing leg to do the work. Now, soften your right knee. Do not lock it. When you lock your knee, you're relying on your joints and bones. But when you keep a slight bend, you activate the muscles in your thigh, calf, and ankle. Those are the muscles that actually protect you from falling. Hold this position for 10 to 30 seconds. And here's something I want you to pay attention to. You may feel your ankle making tiny adjustments, a subtle shaking, a constant correction. That is not weakness. That is your nervous system re-engaging. Those small movements are your brain and body having a conversation again. Rapid, precise, and essential for balance. After your time is up, switch sides. Now, let's talk about progression. If this feels too easy, try using just one fingertip on the counter. Eventually, you can try letting go completely for a few seconds. If it feels too difficult, place your back foot flat on the ground instead of just the toes. This widens your base and gives you more control. Always meet your body where it is today. This exercise is especially important if you've experienced feeling unsteady when standing still, needing to hold on to furniture, hesitation when stepping onto one foot. Because in real life, walking is just a controlled series of single-leg stands. And if your body cannot stabilize on one leg, even briefly, your risk of falling increases significantly. Now here's the deeper truth. Balance is not something you keep forever. It's something you maintain. If you stop challenging it, your body slowly forgets how to do it. But when you practice this consistently, even for a minute a day, your confidence begins to return. You stand taller, you move with less fear. And that fear, that quiet fear of falling, is often what limits people more than anything else. So take your time with this. Stay focused, stay supported, because in the next exercise, we're going to shift our attention even further down to the smallest muscles in your feet. where many of these problems begin without you ever noticing. Exercise 5, towel scrunch, awakening the small muscles your brain has forgotten. Most people think balance comes from the legs, but what if I told you it actually begins in your toes? I've had patients who could walk, stand, even exercise, but when I asked them to move their toes with control, they couldn't. Not because they were weak, but because the connection had gone quiet. That's the hidden side of neuropathy. The smallest muscles in your feet slowly stop receiving clear signals. And when that happens, your foundation becomes unstable without you even realizing it. This is where the towel scrunch becomes incredibly powerful. Sit comfortably in a chair. Place a small towel flat on the floor in front of you. If you're at home in the US, a bathroom hand towel or kitchen towel works perfectly. Now, place one bare foot on the edge of the towel. Pause for a moment before you move. Feel the floor. Feel the fabric under your toes. Even if the sensation is faint, that awareness matters. Now, using only your toes, try to grip the towel and pull it toward you. Spread your toes, then squeeze, then pull. Release and repeat. At first, this may feel surprisingly difficult. Your toes may not respond the way you expect. They may feel slow, uncoordinated, or even completely uncooperative. That is not failure. That is your nervous system waking up. Each time you attempt to grab the towel, you are sending a signal from your brain down to your foot. And even if the response is weak, that signal is still being processed. Over time, that pathway strengthens. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions per foot. Move slowly enough that you can feel each contraction. If you rush, your foot will compensate and you lose the benefit. Now, let's talk about progression. If this becomes easier, you can replace the towel with small household items like marbles, coins, or even a pen. Try picking them up with your toes and placing them in a small container. This adds precision, which is exactly what your nervous system needs. This exercise is especially important if you've noticed your feet feel dead or unresponsive. You have trouble gripping the floor when walking barefoot. You feel unstable on uneven surfaces because those are signs that the fine control in your feet is fading. And here's the consequence. If nothing changes, your body begins to rely more on your eyes to stay balanced. You start looking down constantly. Your posture shifts. Your confidence drops. But when you rebuild control in your feet, something remarkable happens. You begin to trust the ground again. Your steps feel more secure. Your movements become more natural. And that quiet fear in the back of your mind starts to fade. So take your time with this one. Stay patient, stay consistent, because once you combine this with everything you've just learned, the real transformation begins. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to bring all 5 of these movements together into a simple daily routine that can change the way you move, stand, and live. Starting tomorrow morning, what you do daily determines how you'll move in the next 5 years. There's something I want you to think about tonight, not with fear, but with honesty. Your body is not as forgiving as it once was. What you ignore today doesn't stay the same. It quietly progresses. The numbness in your feet, the hesitation when you stand, the subtle loss of balance. These are not isolated issues. They are early signals, and if left unrest, they often lead somewhere very real. Falls, injuries, loss of independence. I've seen patients go from walking confidently to needing assistance in less than a year. Not because something dramatic happened overnight, but because small warning signs were overlooked for too long. As we age, the body becomes more vulnerable in ways that aren't always obvious. Even during sleep, circulation slows, joints stiffen, and nerve signaling becomes less active. That's why so many older adults feel unsteady first thing in the morning. It's not just stiffness, it's a temporary disconnection. And if you step into your day without reactivating that system, you are asking your body to perform before it's ready. That's when missteps happen. That's when accidents occur. In the most ordinary moments, getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, stepping onto a rug. But here's the part that gives you control. Everything you've learned here is not about exercise for the sake of movement. It's about restoring communication within your body. Blood flow, nerve signaling, coordination, balance, foot control. These are the systems that keep you upright, safe, and independent. And the truth is, they don't disappear suddenly. They fade gradually unless you actively maintain them. If you commit to these simple movements, even just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you are not just improving how you feel today. You are shaping how you will live 1, 3, even 5 years from now. Imagine walking into your home confidently without needing to hold on to walls. Imagine going outside without that quiet fear in the back of your mind. Imagine trusting your body again. On the other hand, if nothing changes, the path is predictable. Slower reactions, reduced mobility, increased dependence, and for many, a life that becomes smaller, more limited, and more cautious. This is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Understanding your body, adjusting your habits, protecting your future. Because independence is not something you wait to lose before you value it. It's something you preserve one small decision at a time. So starting tomorrow morning before your first step, ask yourself one simple question. Am I preparing my body for the life I want to keep living? These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.